Hello, everyone. Just for the purposes of those who may not know who I am, my name is Jason Allen. I am in the School of Education, and also I serve as the Program Coordinator of Secondary Social Studies Education. Uh, if you're receiving this video, I'm assuming you probably also advise secondary education students in your content area. And I'm also going to assume that you probably also have heard the word that we are moving towards a year-long residency program. And I'm here to confirm, if you didn't already know, that that is actually true. So what the purposes are of this video are to make sure that we're all on the same page as far as what we're supposed to be doing with this. The transition is actually currently in place starting in the fall of 2024. Our incoming freshmen will be on the path to be our initial secondary education year-long residents. So the purposes, again, of this video are to kind of give an overview of the program itself, the year-long residency, and also what we need to do in terms of advising. I will give a little spoiler. The advising itself is very, very, very small in terms of changes. The big thing is just making sure students aren't overwhelming themselves, honestly. So with that all being said, let me just go ahead and get going here. Just a quick overview. Again, in case you don't know this, this isn't something we were seeking. It's being forced upon us. The state of West Virginia is requiring that all certification programs in the state of West Virginia transition to a year-long residency. They feel like it helps with retention of teachers, helps them prep more for being, I guess, sound teachers right off the bat, and kind of hit the ground running. There's a lot of debate about that, but the fact of the matter is we have to do it. So we had to have a program in place by the fall of 2024. So we do. And special shout out to anyone on Epic, CNI, or Core for all the help with this. But we do have our plan in place. So starting with our freshmen that are coming in this fall, they will be on the path if they follow their year-long resident or their 4-year progression as written. In the fall of 2027, they will be our initial year-long residents in the secondary education program. With that being said, let me kind of rehash that because that was a mouthful when I said it quickly. Basically, state of West Virginia is mandating that we have a year-long residency program. We had to have it in place by the fall of 2024. We do. So our freshmen that are coming in the fall of 2024 will be our initial group of students on the pathway to being our first year-long residents starting in the fall of 2027. This next overview is something that's been in place, but we're backing it up because of the requirements of the year-long residency. Currently, if you're doing student teaching, you have to have 125 hours of field, 125 hours in the field before you actually student teach. Because of the residency, you have to have those hours done before you start the residency program, i.e. instead of having those, you have until the penultimate semester to get those hours completed. Now you have to have them done the semester before that 7th semester. So 125 hours need to be completed beforehand. I will say this is nothing really most content areas have to worry about. We're actually back mapping these in our EDUC courses. Music does have some hours that are within their music courses, and I know we're working with them right now to make sure that we have all those requirements met before the penultimate semester. But just wanted to give a shout out there. So students will have a little bit of more hours in the field in the EDUC courses and their pathway to the residency. I will say this, we're trying not to overload those classes. We're kind of trying to break it up a little bit so it's not quite as overwhelming. A lot of students do a little more hours anyway, so we're trying to kind of just break it up. Anyway, the big semester, the one that's going to see the most changes is going to be the students' penultimate semester or the 7th semester. They have to have 250 hours completed in that semester in the field as part of the residency 1 requirements. That in and of itself is a lot. The other issue is they have to be, they're still trying to meet requirements in terms of their content and education requirements in terms of course load. So basically what I'm trying to say here is while they're doing the 250 hours, they're also still going to be taking courses. There's no way to back map those courses in there. in the secondary program. So please, when we talk about how we're going to set this up or how it is set up, just keep an eye out on your students. We've had some pilots who went out, and the one thing they said is less is more, obviously. If you can get away with 12 or 15 credit hours that semester, it's definitely advisable. And then, you know, again, we have progressions, but if you can kind of keep an eye out on maybe some online classes, sometimes if you're comfortable or and such, it does help. But again, penultimate semester is 250 hours. The final semester really isn't much different than student teaching. The students have to do 500 hours in the field. Actually, it's a little less than what student teaching requirements are right now. And also, it's just the same. It's just they're going to register for residency 2 and then take the EdTPA course, 461. That's it. So residency 1, 250, residency 2, 500. And that's only right now, that's only applies to these incoming freshmen of fall 2024. I have a little caveat down there that says the number of credits does not matter to the West Virginia Department of Education. I'll highlight what that means here in a second. It'll make sense here in a moment. Also, I just wanted to give an overview of what we were kind of working with, just in case you're wondering when I talk about that number of credit hours. Because of the Shepherd University 120 credit hour limit, which by the way, other universities have something similar, we were really working within some tight parameters. Those are all of our certification areas. Science has multiple ones. And what ended up happening is all of these areas have specific content courses students have to have. So we couldn't cut anything in terms of content. But then we also have requirements within our EDUC programs that the state requires, such as literacy, special education, and things like that. So basically, we had to come up with a way that all the secondary programs were kind of uniformed and still kind of make it work because we had this mandate. What that kind of all led towards was this. We have to have something on the transcript that says residency 1. That's the only requirement the WVDE was kind of requiring, and that's where that number of credits does not matter. We talked to some other universities and reached out, schools like Marshall, West Liberty, and such. And when they did their programs, they said that they had, when students take a course for them in the field or student teaching, they take a course and then they take a 0 credit course just to show that they're in the field. They still have the course that has the credits, but they also have that field course just to know that they're in the field. It helps their placement coordinator. We reached out to West Virginia Department of Education and asked if that's okay if we did something similar. They were totally on board. They said they don't care as long as it says residency 1. So that leads to all of what I'm trying to build towards. To keep uniformity within the secondary programs and to make this change as easy as possible, what we actually decided to do was every secondary education student has to take EDUC 443. While they're taking EDUC 443, they also have to take a course. It's 0 credits. It is EDUC 375, residency 1. That's it. That way they meet the requirements. They can get their certification because that has to be on their residency 1 and residency 2. But it really didn't change anything in the layout of the course. We didn't add any credits. We didn't remove anything. We just added a 0 credit class. So when you have those freshmen that are coming in fall of 2024, when they get to hopefully their beginning of their penultimate semester in the fall of 2027, they should be taking 443 and EDUC 375, residency 1. That's the change. That's the advisement. The big thing is you just have to watch and make sure that the students aren't overwhelming themselves in the build up to that, maybe to keep the coursework down. And also, again, if they have to be full-time, 12 at most 15 credit hours is probably preferable, let me rephrase that. But again, we've had students who have done 18. It's been tough. I put this on here. That's a little bit misleading. I don't like how I phrased that, but just to kind of, that's my current student teaching course for mine, 456. I'm sure some of you have 455 and such. It's not actually becoming residency 2. We have kept the student teaching courses as it says here in the catalog because we're still transitioning students out. So if you have students again that are student teaching in the spring of 2025. They're just going to take our normal student teaching course. This is for the incoming freshman fall of 2024. That's the residency. Like I say, nothing really changes until the penultimate semester or the 7th semester. Starting in the fall of 2027, students in 443 need to also register for EDUC 375, the residency 1, and the final semester will be an EDUC for XXX, and that's a residency 2. They're all in the catalog, and that will be also taken in conjunction with the EDUC 461, the EdTPA course. And again, just kind of watch the workload. I know I've said it. Everyone here knows how to advise. I'm sure everyone's an awesome advisor. Just make sure you're kind of keeping an eye on that. So that's kind of it. Let me just show you real quick my layout. This is my program with the progression. And as you can see, there's 443, 375, and then also, we have courses mine still have to take, if they're following everything to a T, they still have to take a U.S. history elective, an upper division. I have it on, I took it off of there. Most of the programs, I think all of the programs have EDUC 400 in that final semester. That's a fantastic class, I think, to take during the residency because it's always offered online. And also it's very field specific because it's a special education course. I just didn't put it on the PowerPoint. It is actually co-rec technically with 443. It's just some students who transfer in have already had it or have taken the course somewhere else. So it's just best to think when they have 443, they need to take 375. And 422, again, I put that, I just want to show this because that's a course that's only offered in the fall for me. So I always have to keep in mind if I have a student who's going to be in 443 in the spring, maybe I need to have something there that they can take. And sometimes I'll eye something that might be a little less intense if I can, if it will work. So anyway, that's kind of the residency, an overview of it. I hope this helps. I know I talk a little quick. I know I babble. I know I talk with my hands. But if you have any questions, again, feel free to reach out to me, anyone in the School of Education, your content coordinators. Everyone has been a great help with this, and all of them are very knowledgeable. So again, I hope everyone has a fantastic day and good luck with the residency program. Bye.